This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Ramonto's in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. And by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. We are set to begin the fourth quarter of action here in Windsor, Vermont, where the Woodstock Wasps lead the Windsor Yellow Jackets 6-0. Windsor third down and short, and there's Balch with the keeper. He goes off the guard and falls forward for the first down. So Windsor picks up the first down on the first play of the fourth quarter. And Andrew, much the same in the third quarter as the first half. Both teams running the ball and no scoring.
Yeah, and really the only touchdown in this game was really off of a fumble to put Woodstock in the red zone really immediately. So both offenses haven't scored or done very well.
Handoff again. The running back is tripped up, tries to juke the defender, but can't quite do it, and that's Trevor Worrell. Yeah, the touchdown came on the 15-yard run, and Windsor fumbled the ball at the 18-yard line. So the first play gained a few yards, and then the second play ran it in with a 15-yard touchdown. So not much in the way of scoring, but Windsor, the second half, has moved the ball nicely on their first drive, moving it inside the red zone, turning it over on downs, and now this time trying to move it and tie this game or take the lead. Balch under center, 2nd and 7. Handoff to Page, off to the left side. He has some blockers, but good penetration there, and the fumble is going to go to Woodstock.
Wow. And we were just saying, that's how the Wasps scored their original touchdown. So Woodstock is getting a huge turnover.
So Woodstock will take over.
And just when it looked like we talked about Windsor was able to move the ball and pick up a first down on that 3rd and short, and looked like they might be moving the chains, the Dakota Page off tackle run and ends in a fumble, and Woodstock will take over possession at the 39-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more. All YCN games are now on Facebook Live at YCN News.
Handoff up the middle to Caden White. And White continues forward there for a good chunk of yards. 6 or 7. Woodstock looking to keep control of this game, leading 6-0, and they look to control Division III standings. Both teams 6-0 in the division. The winner of this will be assured the #1 seed in Division III, and they'll play at least one home game. Man goes in motion, handoff to White again. This time he's wrapped up in the backfield.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact.
3rd and 7. Inside 10 minutes to play. Woodstock really, obviously you can understand why, taking their time, no rush to get up to the line of scrimmage. Want to keep that clock moving. They'll be happy to leave it in the hands of their defense, who have played an exceptional ball game. Handoff to White up the middle, and he gallops forward for the first down.
Nice run by White. He's been a big force in this game. And Woodstock can score a touchdown here. I think that pretty much puts the game out of reach for Windsor, as we've seen their offense has struggled to score. And really, besides that, second half opening drive by the Yellow Jackets, their offense hasn't done too much. So if Woodstock can either score a touchdown or just drain this clock down, think that'll pretty much seal that, give them the victory, and keep them undefeated here in Division III heading into the playoffs.
Woodstock up to the line of scrimmage. Trevor White under center, inside 9 minutes. Man in motion. Hand off. No. Yes, it was handed off. It was handed off. At first, looked like White didn't have it, but Caden White took the handoff, and he goes forward for a short gain and then an injury on the field. So injury stoppage on the field with 8:43 to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Where the Woodstock Wasps and Windsor Yellow Jackets do battle here. A defensive battle. Handoff up the middle. Looked like that was Patrick Potter on the carry. And that'll bring up 4th down and short. And Andrew, here we go. What do you do here if you're Coach Worrell? 4th and 1. Excuse me, third. Okay, it's only 3rd down, so won't have too much of a tough decision to go for it here.
Let's go, boys.
Well, if this was 4th down, I'd probably go for it anyway. You're pretty far down the field. It would be tough for Windsor to score a touchdown driving that far. They were able to drive down the field once, but not able to score a touchdown.
Let's go.
Let's see what Woodstock does here on 3rd down.
White under center. Couple running backs behind him. Man in motion, and the whistle before the snap, and Woodstock calls the timeout before the snap. They want to talk it over. 7:39 to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. 7:39 to play here in Windsor. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, the lone score of the day is a 15-yard run by Woodstock's Micah Schlabach, and gave Woodstock a 6-0 lead that they currently hold. And another false start out of the timeout. So what was a 3rd and 2 has now become a 3rd and 7. Just inexcusable out of a timeout. Got to know the snap count, got to know the play. And that's going to drive the coaches crazy.
Yeah, we've seen Woodstock with a number of flags here. A number of false starts, a couple offsides. Not too many from Windsor, but it has been Woodstock's biggest problem here this afternoon.
So 3rd down and a long 6. Man in motion. They get the play off this time. The handoff goes to the motion man, and he is met as he hits the corner. Schlabach. And that's going to be short of the 1st down. And now it'll bring up 4th down and a few yards to go. Clock moving. See what Woodstock wants to do. I would imagine, like you said, you might as well go for it. You're not going to kick a field goal and risk getting it blocked and return for a touchdown.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ramontos in Claremont. Always fresh, always delicious. All YCN games are on Facebook Live at YCN News.
So Windsor trying to get pumped up here and stop Woodstock as we have 4th and 3. Man in motion and a flag on the field. And that's going to be a delay of game on Woodstock. And I know you want to run the clock down, but maybe that was the play. Just get the clock down, and the yardage doesn't much matter.
Moves it back to 4th down and 8 to go.
So you got to imagine they'll still be going for it.
Yeah, I'd still go for it. Yellow Jackets would get the ball back, but they'd still be pretty far down the field. They'd have to travel a long way. This is really a huge play in this game. Let's see if Windsor's able to, if their D is able to stay strong and get the ball back.
Trevor White under center. Caden White behind him. White keeps it himself. He fires down the field. Dakota Page picks it off. And then he's immediately tackled. And really, if you're Dakota Page, I mean, I know it's hard to think, but you swat that ball down.
Yeah, it would have been smarter to do. Really, the Windsor, there would have been a turnover on downs. Really, they lost probably about 15 yards, 10, 15 yards or so, picking out that interception. But obviously, Dakota Page in the moment doesn't want anybody else to try to make a play on that ball. So he caught it himself. So now the Yellow Jackets having a chance to tie the game or go ahead. Plenty of time left in this game. We saw one very good offensive drive to start off the second half, and let's see if they can do it again. And the game's really going to come down to this drive right here.
So Balch under center, 6:39 to play. He'll hand off on the first play right up the middle and stumbles forward for a handful of yards. And going back to that interception, if you're to go to Page, I mean, you don't know who's around you. You don't want to let someone else catch it. You also, maybe you're seeing a clear path and thinking you can return it. So, not to be too hard on the kid. It's one of those moments, excited, and so a good interception, at least to secure the ball for Windsor. So they'll take over, and then they get 6 yards on the first play, 2nd down and 4.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs and thank all of our advertisers for their support.
Inside 6 minutes to play, the fake pitch and then the handoff to the back, number 24, and that's Trevor Worrell, and he escapes the edge and gets to the corner, gets the first down, and Windsor trying to show some signs of life here late in the fourth quarter. Tie this game up and maybe even win it on the last second touchdown and extra point.
Ball's on the 28, and that's a first down. Windsor.
Yeah, another exciting finish here. Windsor-Woodstock rivalry never ceases to disappoint. Last year, Windsor barely winning it in Woodstock, and this year, Woodstock threatening to win this game, but Windsor has one last chance.
Balch under center. Hands off to Tucker, and he breaks free. He has one man, he hurdles over, and then he's forced out of bounds by number 29, Patrick Potter. A big gain and a first down. Windsor is in Woodstock territory.
What a huge run there by Tucker. He had a number of blockers in front of him. Nice run. But if you're Windsor, we've seen them march down the field before and get stopped in the red zone. So the Yellow Jackets, they need to score a touchdown here, and really, they need to maintain the clock as well. If they can move down the field pretty deep, try to take as much time off this clock and punch in a touchdown, at least tie the game up. Try to give Woodstock the ball back with no time left. But Windsor, of course, first has to score the touchdown. They haven't been able to do so far here today.
That big gainer gets the crowd into it. Balch with the fake handoff and then gives it back to Jake Tucker, and he breaks free for another big gain. 12 yards on the carry and another first down.
Nice run there by Tucker, and Balch is really, he excels at the ball fakes, selling who's getting the ball and who's not. And one Woodstock defender did read that play pretty well, but Tucker just ran by him. Another first down, and obviously Windsor wants to get this touchdown no matter what, no matter how much time is left, but they can't do it too soon. They don't want to give Woodstock the ball back.
Will Woodstock's defense be able to hold here? A couple of big plays. Are the Woodstock defenders getting tired and Windsor able to find a hole? There's another pitch. This time it goes to Worrell, Trevor Worrell, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe loses half a yard, so bring up 2nd down and 11.
If you miss any of our local programs on our 3 YCN network stations, you can always watch our shows and games anytime on our website, ycnnow.com.
The Windsor football team turns around to the crowd, tries to get them into this game. 6-0 the score. Windsor looking for a big comeback victory. The winner of this game will most likely get the #1 seed in Division 3. But before that play, we'll have a timeout on the field. 4:14 to play. Woodstock leading Windsor 6-0. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. The final 4 minutes, 14 seconds to play in this Division III season finale, regular season finale. The pitch to Tucker to the left side. Doesn't have much room, and he's swallowed up by the Woodstock defenders. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up a big third down.
Next week's YCN Game of the Week will feature a Vermont high school football semifinal game. Check local listings for teams and air and replay times. Yeah, and Windsor really, when they've had these fake handoffs, that's when they've seemed to be successful, not a direct handoff or pitch. The last two plays, they've gone to the pitch out, and Woodstock's been all over it.
So Balch under center, one running back, a couple running backs behind him. He'll fake it and he'll keep it himself. Looking downfield, he has a man wide open down the field. It's caught at the 1 yard line, and he is down at the 1 yard line. Number 30, Robert Slocum.
He's short, ladies and gentlemen.
And he is just short at the 1 yard line. And it was wide open on the handoff. They've been keeping that one in the back of their playbook all day.
Yeah, what a great play there by Balch, finding Slocum, and Slocum is wide open. The Woodstock cornerback just completely blew his coverage, and Slocum, nice catch. And to me, it looked like he maybe just got in, but the ref saw it the other way, and he was right at the goal line. So Windsor now right on the goal line. If they can punch one in here, honestly, if more time comes off the clock, it's better for them. Woodstock will get the ball back with barely any time left.
So first and goal from the 1. Balch under center. He'll keep it himself. He's met at the line of scrimmage, and he might be driven backwards. Not only barely getting to the line of scrimmage, maybe going backwards a half a yard.
Well, again, these just without any fake handoffs or anything like that, Woodstock is all over the ball. Seth Balch immediately getting met by a ton of Woodstock defenders there.
The nose of the ball.
And it really seems like every time Seth Balch gives a fake handoff, whether they then decide to run or pass, it seems to be like a successful play. So if I'm Windsor, I'm going back to that in some way.
Now Windsor able to control the clock, keep it moving inside 2.5 minutes. Balch under center. 2 running backs behind him. One split out far left. Balch will keep it again. He has stood up again, but on the second effort, he appears he may have it, and he does. Seth Balch, second effort, gets the touchdown. 1 yard sneak.
Well, what an effort by Balch there. It looked like he was going to be stopped once again, but the second effort, plowing forward, getting the touchdown. What a game we have here, and obviously this play will determine the game. I don't know if Windsor has confidence in their kicker or not. If they do, this would be an easy extra point to win, most likely. A couple minutes left, but
Balch is going to be the holder, and Robert Slocum, who came up with the big play that almost went for a touchdown, but ultimately set up the touchdown. Slocum could be the hero here. The snap, and it's a fake. Balch spins away. He's got 3 defenders, and he is spun to the ground, and the 2-point conversion is no good. With 2:14 to play, they go for a little trickery. Balch doesn't have a chance. As the Woodstock defense immediately swarms into the backfield and disrupts the fake. So we have a tie game, 6-6, 2:14 to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and we have a good one here. Division III regular season finale between the Windsor Yellow Jackets and the Woodstock Wasps, and Windsor has just tied it up on a 1-yard touchdown sneak by quarterback Seth Balch. Extra point, or the 2-point conversion was no good on the fake extra point, went for 2. So Windsor now kicking off to Woodstock. Both teams 1 touchdown today. 2:24 to go in the second quarter. Woodstock went up 6-0, and 2:14 to go in the game. Windsor ties it up at 6 apiece. And the kick is a short one, kind of a squib kick. It's touched, and then it goes out of bounds. But it was touched before it went out of bounds, so I don't believe it'll be a penalty. It'll just be spotted where it went out of bounds.
Trying to determine the exact spot.
Yeah, and back to that 2-point or that fake extra point by Windsor. I don't like the call. I think they should have tried for the extra point. You can't return the ball on an extra point, so if you miss it or the ball sails wide or whatever, then it's still, the game's tied. But if you make it, I mean, you're up by a point then with 2 minutes left. And obviously you don't need 2 points, you just need 1 because the game's tied. So I think they should have just tried the extra point. Maybe they know something we don't know about their kicker, Slocum. Maybe they don't have a ton of confidence in him, but to me, risk-reward.
Yeah, exactly.
Reward definitely outweighs the risk.
So one final chance here for Woodstock. They hand it off to Caden, number 45, Caden White, and he barrels forward for a handful of yards, and clock moving, coming up on 2 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. 6-6 score, 2nd and 5.
YCN is now affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network, drawing from timeless classics as well as more contemporary TV. All eyes are on H&I.
Woodstock with the ball, 2nd and 5. Flag in the backfield, handoff to Schlabach, and he's going to be upended before he can get to the first down marker, but a flag immediately in the backfield. It's going to be an illegal motion penalty, I believe, on Woodstock, so that'll knock them back 5 yards.
Call is going against the Wasps.
2nd and 10 it will be. 5 yards backwards, 2nd and along 9.
Well, Woodstock has been hurt by a ton of those flags, just those 5-yard penalties. Not sure how many they've had on the day, but it's been a number of them, and some have been coming out of a timeout too, so the Wasps, they can clean up their flags, have a chance to win this game.
Inside a minute 20, clock moving. Handoff up the middle, Caden White, and he's met after gaining a few yards, and a timeout by Windsor. They want to try and conserve some time and hope they can get the ball back and maybe win this one in regulation. So a timeout on the field, 1:06 to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 1:06 to play in the fourth quarter. We have a tie game, 6-6. 3rd and 7 3rd and 6 for Woodstock. Trevor White under center, man in motion. The handoff and cuts off to the right side. It's going to be close. Number 29, Patrick Potter. I don't know if he got it. He might be a yard or a half a yard short. They'll spot the ball, and it looks like he's a solid yard short. The ball's on the 40-yard line, and they need to get to the 41 for the first down.
Bring up a 4th down.
So a timeout on the field.
55.
Inside a minute. What will Woodstock do here? Go for it or punt it away to Windsor. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 4th and 1 for Woodstock. Looks like they will be in punt formation inside a minute to play. Will they kick it away to Windsor, or will they go for the fake? Asbury back there to punt. The snap is not great, but Asbury picks it up nicely and gets a very nice kick away, but takes a Windsor bounce and gets it out of bounds at about the 31-yard line, where Windsor will take over, and we'll keep it right here. And Andrew, here we go. Windsor, maybe they've got something in the back of their playbook that they haven't used yet. 46 seconds to go. Here's the time to pull it all out. Yeah,
I don't know if Windsor has any timeouts left. But yeah, here, I mean, got to pull out every play that they have, every tricky play, and those fake handoffs have worked very well against Woodstock. It's kept them off balance, so they should go back to that. Try to throw some balls toward the sidelines, try to stop the clock. This could be huge for Windsor.
So Balch in the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, looking down the field, avoids the rush, throws it underneath, a screen pass, has a man, cuts back to the center of the field, breaks one tackle, and then he gets to the 50-yard line, still alive, and he breaks free. Is he going to get out of bounds? Yep. He does get out of bounds. Number 24, Trevor Worrell.
Well, what a run there by Worrell, but really I don't think he should have cut back toward the middle of the field. He should have gone out of bounds, but the extra effort picked up about 10 or so yards. Nice run by him, and he did get out of bounds at the end of that play, which was huge. And now Windsor on their own, on Woodstock's 40-yard line. This is really a great end to this football game.
And you got to imagine, if they don't have confidence in the kicker to kick an extra point, I can't imagine they're going to kick a field goal. So they got to get it all 40 yards and into the end zone. 1st and 10 from the Woodstock 40. Balch in the shotgun, drops back, surveying the field. He's going to throw deep into coverage, and it's just overthrown, incomplete. The closest man was Micah Slavak of Woodstock there, the defender.
Yeah, that's a risky throw there by Balch. Could have easily been intercepted. There were a number of Woodstock defenders down there in the secondary, but luckily it sealed over everybody's head.
And it doesn't look like Woodstock's going to give up a long pass, so you've got to kind of keep it short and then try and get some run after the catch or get out of bounds and get chunks of yard. I mean, really, they have to get 3 15-yard pass plays. They don't have to go deep. And Woodstock's not gonna get burnt deep unless it's a catch and run. So we'll see what Windsor can come up with here. Balch under center this time. He'll take it, hand off, and then the fake, and then they give it to Page on the reverse. He's got some blockers, but a nice awareness by the Woodstock defender to shed the blocker and get the tackle. Injury on the field, though, so with 9.1 seconds to play, an injury on the field. And the coach of Windsor asking why the clock wasn't stopped a little earlier as the injured player had gone down. So injury on the field, we'll take a timeout. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. 9.1 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide from Windsor, Vermont. Windsor with the football. Clock will begin to move. Last play of the game, the handoff, and then it's going to be a throw thrown to the Page, who's open. He catches it, and he's going to have a completion from Slocum to Page at the 21-yard line. And unless Windsor has any timeouts, I think that's going to be the end of regulation. 0.4 seconds to go. And he starts it and snaps it.
Quick snap of the ball.
Not sure if the play is live. There's a flag on the play. So I think Windsor didn't have any timeouts, so once the clock started, they had to snap it. So I think they're going to say the end of the 4th quarter. So at the end of regulation here in Windsor, the regular season finale is a dandy. 6-6. Timeout on the field. We'll come back with the beginning of overtime after this on the YCN Game of the Week.